everyone, this is Pink Carbon, Sammy Jean here. Hopefully we won't have some issues with the camera today because someone feels like nuzzling it because they want tons of attention from me, which I give them. So he'll probably be in and out of this video, maybe for some love or something, I don't know, but we'll just leave him. So yeah, I'm basically doing this vlog today to basically answer some questions people might have about me being into comic books, how I got into them, which ones I like with the new DC reboot. I have a few here that I'm really into right now, especially because I'm a girl. I notice right now there's a lot of controversy and things like that, girls who get judged for liking comic books. Some people feel like, maybe some girls are fake about comic books. I don't know. I really don't get it. I do have people who are into comic books who are girls, guys, anything else. If you love it, you love it. I don't see any issue with it. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I know everything about comic books because that's just a little ridiculous to sit here and act like you know everything about comics. I'm not going to sit here and gloat about it. To be honest with you, I'll say right now I don't really know a lot about Marvel comics, just because I never really got into reading them. I would like to, but I'm a huge DC fan if you can't tell by my room. So yeah, I'm just going to go into basically how I got into comic books. It's actually pretty funny. My uncle, he's actually maybe 10 years older than me or so. There's not that much time between us. So when I was little, basically it was we grew up together type of thing. I remember staying at my grandmother's and having to, wear his Spider-Man t-shirts to bed, or, sleep in his room that was covered in Marvel comics everywhere. Action figures, the comforter set with Spider-Man on it, and the Hulk, the Thing, so I really think that that's part of the reason why I got into comics. Growing up at my grandmother's, we would always be there on weekends, and my uncle would have, the newest issue of Green Lantern, or my grandfather actually read a lot of the Vampirella magazines, which I'm really big into Vampirella. So it basically started like that when I was young. Getting older, I wasn't really into comic books. I mean, I had a lot of guy friends and things like that, but never really was into comics growing up. I think what did it recently, to be honest with you, was I was really big into anime at one point. I know. I went to a convention and actually went to the DC booth where they had a whole bunch of free comics there. It was actually, it was around the time that Blackest Night had come out. I did know a little bit about comics here and there from reading on the internet and friends and things like that, but I never really got really big into them until Blackest Night came out. Yeah, so I picked up a bunch of free comics and went home, and, comic books to me, I read books. I read books. I still do, but it was just weird having these pictures and images with, having to read things, and it was actually pretty cool. So I started getting into Blackest Night, which opened up basically everything to DC for me, because they ran a lot of different people, a lot of different titles, a lot of different superheroes, villains, everything like that in Blackest Night. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, I don't sit here and say that I know everything about comics, but it's pretty cool that I got into them. A lot of people actually think it's, pretty crazy that I know a lot of things, and they ask me and they're blown away when I know the answer. My boyfriend actually, it's funny because he says, the only reason why he's with me or staying with me is because I'm into comics. I know that's pretty sad, but I know it's probably more than that, but he just thinks it's really cool. So I'm basically going to go into some of my favorites. So that's pretty much how I got into comics. DC booth at a convention, just basically had an open mind and read them and thought that they were really cool. Like, they sucked me right in. You did a good job, DC, with that. So some of my favorites that I've noticed through the years, even when I knew a little bit about comics growing up, there were always some people that always stood out to me. Sorry, I'm just looking through them right now. Obviously, a big one that I've told you is Vampirella. I love Vampirella. Like I said, I grew up with my grandfather with the Vampirella comics and magazines, and just the art. I love it. And you kind of can't go wrong with vampires and outer space and, you know, all that uh, really classic retro sci-fi type of stuff and horror, gore, fantasy, whatever you want to call it. I think it's really awesome. And plus, you can't go wrong with, you know, really hot vampire alien. Can't really go wrong with that. So another one that I'm really into, and a lot of guys I notice are into for obvious reasons. I think she's pretty awesome, and I give a lot of credit. I know. Some people might have some things to say to this, but Amanda Connor and Jimmy really pulled it off with Power Girl. I absolutely love her. They basically, the older comics I didn't really enjoy, JSA, things like that. Power Girl in her own title, especially the ones with Amanda Connor and Jimmy, I absolutely loved. She was a lot of fun. You know, it was really silly, I would say. They had a silly sense of humor about it. And, I mean, you can't go wrong with Power Girl. She's got big breasts, I guess you could say. And she's badass. She's just badass. Another one of my favorites, speaking of Jimmy and Amanda Connor, another one of their actual comics that I got into, I have the book right here, is The Pro. It's actually pretty funny. I got into it and was like, you know what? It's really cheesy, and there's a lot of sexuality in it. It's just over the top, crazy, funny. I thought it was so awesome when I picked it up. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a try and see what it's like. And I really, really, really enjoyed it. I actually got a bunch of friends into it who had never heard of it, and I said, you know what? You've got to get into this because it's pretty funny. I actually did a cosplay of her. I should probably put up some pictures of that. I don't think I have any on my DeviantArt, but I'll certainly share those with you. Another one of my favorites, an indie comic. I figured I'd pick one indie comic that I really, really, really liked. It's through Image Comics, and it's actually an older one. It's called Strange Girl. There she is, Beth. She's awesome. I actually picked it up when I was at Fan Expo, and it was in the 50-cent bin. I figured, you know what, it looks pretty cool. She actually looks pretty badass. So I managed to pick up a lot of the series. I'm missing a few here and there, but it's actually pretty awesome. It's basically about a girl post-rapture, everything that happens to her. It's really cute and quirky. I absolutely love it. If you're looking into getting into something that's maybe a little older, little indie, a little crazy, I would say check out Strange Girl because I absolutely loved it. For the new 52, I know I have a lot here. I actually had to go through digging boxes of comic books out, and picking out some of my favorites was really hard. I'm going to get into the new DC reboot that just started not too long ago, and what some of my favorite titles are right now that I really enjoy. The first one is actually Voodoo. You know, I was kind of skeptical about picking it up. I figured I'd never really heard of it. I wasn't too sure. It didn't really stand out to me, but the cover of this one actually made me pick it up because the art's really awesome in it. It's actually pretty awesome and lots of suspense in it. It's sexual, it's crazy, it's really out there. I just say pick it up. It's freaking awesome. The next one, I couldn't find my number one. I have no idea where it is. I think it's probably buried in a box somewhere where it should be. Is actually the new Catwoman. I am not, and I will say this right now, and you can badger me all you want, but I am not really a Batman fan. My boyfriend is, but I am not. Um, I don't know, being a Superman fan kind of made me not really enjoy Batman. Superman and Batman, I know they come together type of thing, but they're two opposites to me, and Batman just doesn't really appeal to me. I guess I'm more into the fantasy of things and having a superhero that's like a normal human. Some people really like that, but I'm not one of those people. And plus, I think Batman's kind of a jerk, but I just don't really like Batman. But Catwoman has made me kind of like Batman. If you haven't been able to tell, hopefully this doesn't spoil anything, but sexuality. Oh my gosh. Some of the things that happen in Catwoman. It's mysterious, it's awesome, but whew, it gets steamy at one point. It's crazy. So I think that's what really pulled me into it. She's just it's awesome. I've always loved Selena Kyle, but what they've done in this is just it's pulled me in definitely. I want to know more. I want to know what's going on with everything. End of number 2. What the fuck? Seriously. Okay, last but not least, I saved my best for last. I know that the classic was really, really good, really awesome, but I love the new one. The chemistry is awesome. Is Hawk and Dove. Absolutely love these two, and I absolutely love what they're doing with the story. Hank and Dawn just, like, they pull it together. I just absolutely love it. Again, I like mystery and things like that, so a lot of the things that are going on so far are kind of what the, is going on in this. But it's basically the chemistry that I like in Hawk and Dove. It's just crazy. I absolutely love it. So those are my picks of the new 52 that I'm really enjoying. Hope that they continue to be awesome. I have a lot of faith in DC. Another thing that people, especially girls, ask me, how do you get into comic books, basically? I'm just gonna say bring it right out there. Go to your comic book shop. Ask them, what are some awesome titles? What can I get into? Don't feel ashamed about not knowing anything, because we all start somewhere where we don't know anything about comic books, as weird as it is. But if you're just starting out, seriously, go to your comic book shop and just ask them, what can I get into? What's the newest titles? What, do you think that I would like if I like this? Yeah, don't be afraid. I mean, if you have questions for me, bring them right out. But especially girls and boys, if you don't know how to really get into comics, go to your local comic book shop. Talk to them. Don't be afraid. That's how I started, was basically going to my shop and asking. You won't get anywhere without asking, so just take that little step and walk in there. Go and ask them. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for today. If you have any questions for me, certainly feel free to comment or message me with questions that you might have about comics. If I didn't really answer anything, or if you feel like I said some things that weren't right, go ahead, let me know. That's, part of the learning experience with comics. Next episode, I'm hoping to let you guys look at my awesome comic book room, because this is only one little portion of it. So take care, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Ta-ta, love you. Bye.